Yeah, From Hell was actually pretty good. I liked it. Um, well, crap, anything that Alan Moore has written, I have loved as a comic.
Yeah.
Going to TV, Constantine. Did you get a chance to check out the
No, I
one
haven't
season?
watched it. I haven't watched TV in a
Oh
couple
man,
years now.
you've
Haven't
got to
watched
check
Game of
out.
Thrones,
They
anything.
have, I think the actor's name that they have to play him is named Matt Ryan, and if the only person that could have played that better was Sting himself. I mean, he was that good
Nice.
as Constantine.
Really?
Um, and then, but the DC with their TV universe, they've been just hitting it out of the park. I mean, The Flash has been really good the last two seasons. Arrow, not so much. Um,
Yeah.
their first two seasons were great. Or the first season was great. Second season, eh. And then they got on this whole Olicity thing, and it just, oh my! I'm hoping that since they're doing Flashpoint for Flash season 3, that's going to reset everything. I'm hoping
Yeah.
that they use it to salvage Arrow because I love the character. I mean,
Isn't it funny that DC's great with TV and they're also great with straight to video cartoons.
hmm
I mean, yeah, I mean, Marvel, I try to watch the X-Men, I try to watch Iron Man. They're terrible, but DC, I think because it's Bruce Timm who did Batman, the animated series, and Justice
hmm
League, and all these, even the Tiny Toons, believe it or not. He is like he takes his stuff serious, and other people now have kind of taken a man, so he's still involved, but um those can't be touched. Some of my favorite movies are some of the Justice League straight to cartoon, even the little
yes,
mini stuff that they have, like the Catwoman, like 15-minute thing. I forget
hmm
what they're called, animated shorts, whatever.
yeah,
But yeah,
those,
movies, they just are terrible because they took too long setting up the DC universe. And
they
then
did.
to do the Batman Superman thing, that was the worst case scenario they could have done.
Uh, I mean, and it
That
can be
was
done well too, and they just couldn't pull it off. I mean, there's different ways that you could pull that and not have because I mean the only salvageable things of Batman versus Superman, in my opinion, Ben Affleck actually did decent as
yeah.
Batman. I mean, I was impressed. I mean, especially after seeing him as Daredevil.
Yeah. I
You
did
know,
not want him. I don't get how these white guys are getting double chances at these huge movies. Ryan Reynolds and him. It's like, oh, you're a white guy with a nice jaw. Well, even though you were in this horrendous movie, we're
hmm
gonna pretend that didn't happen and give you another one. Um, well, the thing about this movie is, I think because Snyder was involved, he wanted to tie it into his disgusting Superman movie. It wasn't. I hated it. I get why people didn't
I
hate
call
it
him
as
Sweater
much.
Man.
Huh?
I call that his Sweater Man movies because I don't know if you noticed, but Henry Cavill, when they get the close-ups of him in the Superman suit, you can see that he's got a squirrel hiding up under his neck there. He's got the chest hair hanging
Oh
out.
my gosh. Yeah, he's so to tie it into that, to make Batman and Superman, it has been done so many times why Batman and Superman start off not liking each other, and it's a misunderstanding, but they made it so he put so much into the backstory because I think it was a movie he did. If it was a new director, he wouldn't care as much about that first Superman movie. He
Yeah,
wouldn't make it so heavy and make like, oh, I need to show this again and show it from Batman's side because this is so great. This is a movie I
yeah,
did. No one would have done that. Like it was like we didn't need all that. You know what I
I
mean?
know. And did you
Batman and
catch?
Superman can meet each other immediately and just go from there, hating
hmm
each other, and
Yeah,
then do the arc.
yeah. And did you notice how much of Batman versus Superman was basically spent apologizing for the Man of Steel? Did you notice that
Would he?
every time you
No.
turned around, because the whole impetus of it was Batman was pissed off because Superman and General Zod killed so many civilians during their fight. That was what pissed him off the most, was that they just had a complete disregard for human life. Throughout the movie, it's, oh, thank God that this was done and that there was nobody was hurt in this. When the big fight
Oh
starts going
yeah.
down,
Hmm.
well, fortunately, this was downtown Metropolis, but everybody's gone home, so there's no casualties. Wonder Woman, well, why did you send him back to Gotham? No, it's
Yeah.
okay. It's an abandoned dock. It's like they were
Yeah, it
constantly
was terrible.
apologizing through the whole movie for Man of Steel. So, uh, but I'm really hoping because I'd like to see DC get back up on top, because those, like I said, those comic books were what I cut my teeth on. One of the first movies I watched as a kid was Christopher Reeve's Superman. My favorite Batman of all time is the Michael Keaton original Batman Tim Burton directed. I just me, but I'm hoping that they can get their act together and actually give Marvel some competition, because
I thought so too. But that Superman versus Batman, Jesus, I was like, okay, we're gonna finally start to create our own. Man, they just shit the bed. Oh my God. You took the two main guys and just Bryan Singer is another Zack Snyder. I hate him. I loved him in Usual Suspects. I thought the first two X-Men were decent. The first one wasn't great. Second one was friggin' great. And then he left the X-Men series, did Superman, and made a terrible soap opera-like thing.
I don't know.
And then they came back with, hold on, I got to finish this, because this is what kills me. So they bring in another hack. These are all like the same guys still. Another hack, what's his name? Brent, the guy who did the Rush Hour movies. Yeah. And he destroyed X-Men 3. He even had the guy go, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. I'm like, really? Some internet friggin' bullshit made it into your, what are you, 15? Anyway, and all the 15-year-olds in the theater, when I saw it, started clapping. I was like, oh, kill me now. But, and then they make X-Men First Class, a grown fucking movie. It's great. It goes back to the 50s. They have all this symbolism, and it works. It works. And then what they do, hey, Bryan Singer, you abandoned this, come back. Come back and make this a cartoon again. This was a movie with all these great characters. Whatchamacallit, I forget his name, who plays Magneto, is brilliant. He's doing all these he's doing all these languages. It does his kid, him in the Holocaust. I mean, it's just like, take us serious. This is as serious as can be. It felt like reading a comic, because that's how comics are. I mean, obviously some comics are very cartoonish, but nowadays comics are very well written things where you're like, okay, this is as serious as you can take yourself when dealing with these topics. And then they bring them back, and it's like Sentinels, and it's going from the past. And I'm just like, oh, we're back to this and a bunch of mutants, and we're 15 again. Because Bryan Singer is so excited to show mutant power, just like Brent. What's the guy's name that I'm trying to remember?
Zack Snyder?
No. From the Rush Hour movies, he did X-Men 3.
I'd have to do a quick
it's
IMDb.
Okay. Who cares? He's a son of a bitch anyway. But yeah, it's like, when you can tell guys aren't good or they're very childish, because all they do is like, hey, look at this mutant's power. Look at this mutant. Okay, we get it. Mutants have powers. I don't need to see a movie full of, oh, look at this girl and watch how she does this in a classroom full of other people. It's like, we get it. Let's get to the story. And I think that's what he kind of brought back after X-Men First Class. He comes back in. For some reason, they bring him back. Maybe because his movies make more money because they're very cartoonish and people are idiots. Yeah, anyway, okay, I'm done.
Yeah,
over.
No, I didn't care for the reboot of the X-Men, but I did think that the Superman Returns, I liked it, but then part of that was again because I grew up with the Christopher Reeve, Superman, and it's like it just picked up where it should have left off before Superman 3 with Richard Pryor and Superman 4.
Do you think Christopher Reeve would be a deadbeat dad? Because that's what it was, right? He bones Lois, impregnates her, and he's like, "Oh, gotta go later."
Yeah, true, but he didn't know at the time.
I know, I guess.
Soups is my boy.
I would have to watch that again. I saw it once in the theater, hated it. Oh, and whatchamacallit, Lex Luthor is the worst Lex Luthor I've ever
Kevin
seen.
Spacey?
A great actor. Yes, he what was that? It was like he was trying to be Gene Hackman.
That was exactly what it was. He was trying to be Gene Hackman's, because I think he's one of those method actors like Dustin Hoffman that he'll sit and watch other performances and then repeat that performance.
Well, that was the wrong thing to do, because I love Lex Luthor. He's one of the greatest heroes. Him and Joker, to me.
Yeah,
clearly.
Yeah,
I'm a
but
DC
I mean,
guy,
even Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor, I mean, does not come anywhere close to as bad as that. What's his nuts from Facebook?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yes. Oh, I hate that actor. I just don't like him as an actor, much less.
Well, because he just plays himself, and then he did some cartoonish, stupid shit with the Bruce Wayne meet Level, and it was like what?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I read up on it, and I guess he was playing the Lex Luthor of a different Earth that was under the control of Darkseid, and he was kind of crazy. But then that's the writer's fault.
Yeah, but they never allude to that until the end.
That's a stupid Lex Luthor.
Well, even if they were going to go with that, they should give us some backstory to let us know that's what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're right.
If you had no idea what the hell happened in such and such 1980s backflip comic, you would have, even after he announces the dinner bell has rung, ring, 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 you got no clue that that's alluding to Darkseid. None.
Yeah.
There is nothing there unless you know.
And they should have shown his descent into that. Not just giving us that, because we're looking at it like, oh, so we're not looking at Lex Luthor then. We're looking at the Facebook guy who's this rich young guy meeting super. I mean, that's essentially what they did. That was not Lex Luthor at all. That was literally a Facebook type of young billionaire, smart kid who has no respect for his elders because he's a young, rich kid who's ahead of his time. Yeah. And I was like, wait, why am I watching Mark Zuckerberg right now?
Exactly. And though, the best Lex Luthors that I've seen, if you go to live action, go back to Smallville, Michael Rosenbaum. Do you remember watching?
What's funny? I've never watched an episode of Smallville. I can't lie. I was never a big Superman fan. He's not one of my favorite heroes. I've never watched an episode of Smallville. And I'm surprised. So many people said it's great. But it reminded me of Buffy when I used to see the commercials. Mm-hmm. So I was like, no way am I watching Buffy Superman version.
Well, the first couple seasons, the first 3 seasons of Smallville were great. And Michael Rosenbaum plays Lex Luthor in those. And if you're not sure who he is, if you go to the DC animated universe, he's the voice of the Flash.
I do know that. That. And that is, I love him as Flash.
He did an excellent.
And did you see when Flash goes into Lex Luthor's body and then he plays Lex Luthor's voice? That was great. Yes. That was a little
homage. And in the animated, oh crap! Now his name escapes me. He was what the hell? His last name's Brown. Clancy Brown is the best. Brown? Best vocal Lex Luthor.
His voice.
That voice is killer. I mean, I even loved him in the original Highlander. I mean, that was the same guy.
Yeah.
He is. Those two, I think, just like with the Joker, my 2 go-to Jokers are the Jack Nicholson Joker from the Batman. And as far as animated goes, no one can beat Mark Hamill. I mean, he is. Yeah,
Mark Hamill's great. But I gotta say, what's his name? Who does Bender? Who did? How come I can't remember his name? He did Joker in Under the Red Hood. That was a well-written Joker, man. I liked it.
That was, but I mean, as far as the character himself goes, I mean, Mark Hamill, I never really cared for him, even in Star Wars, as much as I love Star Wars. I never cared for him as a live-action actor, but voice acting the Joker, I mean, he just embodies that so well. It's just, and I think that's the way with a lot of actors that I don't like watching them in physical cinematic. If I hear them as a voice actor, it's completely different.
Yeah. That's true. Oh, Joe DiMaggio is the one who does Bender, who I was amazed that it's the same guy who, because when you listen to Joker, you're like, wait, that's Bender from Futurama? Get the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. But you're right. No one beats Mark Hamill, but man, that was, to me, was the second best one.
That was
as
a good
far
one,
as
too.
Voice.
And Batman, Kevin Conroy. You cannot beat Kevin Conroy for a portrayal of Batman.
Yeah. Isn't it great how so early on, all these great, for him to be the best Batman, and there's been so many. Mm-hmm. You're right, though. You're right.
Yeah, and not so much a Batman, but I think my favorite, the best Bruce Wayne was Michael Keaton. I mean, if you think about who Bruce Wayne was pretending to be, he was supposed to be this quirky billionaire.
Yeah.
That's pretending, and his real persona is the Batman. I mean,
exactly.
Michael Keaton played that part. Played that part to a T. The Batman part, not so much. But when he was playing Bruce Wayne as someone pretending to be this, that was
who?
What's
Michael
that?
Keaton?
Michael
you said?
Keaton. Yeah,
Well,
I was.
honestly,